Okay, the directions say complete the steps to find 4,830 divided by 5. Step 1 that we learned in whole group is that we need to set up our division expression as if it was a division problem. So we do 4,830 divided by 5, which our worksheet has already done for us, which shows our dividend is 4,830 is divided by our divisor of 5. Basically, I'm trying to take 4,830 and put it into 5 equal groups. Now, if we're going to divide this using partial quotients, because we see some boxes above where our quotient will go, so that means that we're going to try to use this using partial quotients. Step 1 with using partial quotients is you take your divisor. My divisor is 5, and I'm going to multiply that by multiples of 10 to try to figure out what my first partial quotient would be. Now, since my dividend is in the thousands, it wouldn't be wise to start with 5 times 10 or 5 times 20, 5 times 30, 5 times 40, because it would take me quite some time to end up into the thousands. So I'm going to start with multiplying 5 times 100 or 200 or 300 or 400, I'm not for sure yet, because I want to try to get as close to 4,830 without going over. So if I take 5 times 500, I'm going to get 2,500 or 2,500, because 5 times 5 is 2,000, or 5 times 5 is 25, add my extra zeros. 2,500 is still quite a ways from 4,830, so I'm going to multiply that by 800, because 5 times 8 is 40, add my extra zeros, I'm going to get 4,000. 4,000 is near 4,830, so I know that's probably a safe place to start. So 5 times 900, multiply your non-zero digits, which is 5 times 9, you're going to get 45, add your zeros, 4,500, or 5 times 1,000 equals 5,000. Now, I have to look at my dividend and figure out which of these products does my dividend fall between. Does it fall between 4,000 and 4,500 or 4,500 and 5,000? Well, it's 4,830, so I know I'm going to look at these equations right here. Once I have those equations identified, then I can look at my multiples and figure out which multiple of 10 is going to be my first partial quotient. Well, if I use 1,000, I'm going to get a product of 5,000, which that is greater than my dividend, so I can't use it. But if I use 900, I'm going to get a product of 4,500, which is less. So I can use 900 as my first partial quotient, multiply 900 times 5. We already did that work over here, so my 4,500 below that. Next, I just subtract as if it's a normal division problem, and I want to end up with 330. Now I have to ask myself, 5 times what number will get me 330, or 330 divided by 5 is what number? Well, I can look at this and think of 5 times what's going to get me close to 33. Well, 5 times 6 is 30, but I have a 0 down here, so I can add a 0 down here. So which makes this 60. So now if I check that work, 6 times 5 is 30, and I have an additional 0 here, so I can add my 0 there. Subtract like normal, and I'm left with 30. 5 times what number is equal to 30? That is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract and I get 0. Now, these are called partial quotients, and with your PQs or partial quotients, you must add them. So 900 plus 60 plus 6 is equal to 966. And if we go back and we look at our divisor multiplied by powers of 10 or multiples of 10, we see that we looked at 900 and 1,000 as being a possibility for our first partial quotient. And since we did 900, we should make sure that our quotient of 966 is between these two multiples, which it is, which means we solved our problem correctly.